Hello there, and welcome to you to today's ring stuff. So what am I going to review this time, huh? Absolutely huh?
Nah, come on guys, it is going to be rather fun.
Or not at all? Or maybe? Oh well. But anyways, in this today's ring stuff once again, we are going to present something to you to this garbage that I picked up. And here it is. It's a car dash cam. But why isn't this shape of a smartphone? Isn't that a imposter?
Somebody touch my bucket!
Oh well, definitely it's not just any imposters around here, but it's a former car dash cam. So my dad kinda used it as a car dash cam for a long while now, but somehow it managed to escape from its own former rule of being a car dash cam. And since I have this former car dash cam, pick it all up and relax. Let's take a look at this former car dash cam for real. This former car dash cam is the Samsung Galaxy Core Prime from around 2014. It was the one of the expensive smartphones from this era, with the cost of 4,990 baht here in Thailand. But despite it is getting cheaper on Lazada, especially with the second hands, they are so cheap, it only cost me like 700 baht in Thailand. Very cheap. And without any hesitation everybody, let's take a look at the specs for a Samsung Galaxy Core Prime. For real. And as we're taking a look at the specs of a Samsung Galaxy Core Prime we got here, I'm going to talk about it as fast as possible. So first of all, the RAM inside this thing is 1GB, which no surprise of why it's actually completely outdated these days. And with the internal storage, it's going to be 8GB. Which for an 8GB on this thing, I'm going to say that it was not too bad back then in 2014. As for the screen size / resolution on this phone, the screen size is 4.5 inch. As for the resolution, it's going to be 800 by 480, which is a 5:3 aspect ratio. Back then when it was released in 2014, it is actually as small as an iPhone 5. And as for the cameras on this thing, we got two of them, which on the one on the back is a 5MP back, and the video resolution at 720p at 30 frames per second. And one on the front, it is basically a 2MP front. But what about the video? Oh well, let me say that the video is actually at the worst because it only records in VGA. But why? Because they don't really care about the front camera. They do really care about the back camera. And for the charging port, it's a micro USB, which is a very common type of a charging port back then in 2014 to exist on the smartphones like this. And the screen design on this thing is going to be TFT, which is a very standard type of touchscreen going on here. But even though they were outdated these days because they use an OLED, AMOLED, Super AMOLED. And what about the fingerprint scanner on this thing? Oh well, let me just say that for few words. Absolutely no. Because fingerprint scanner doesn't exist back then on smartphones in 2014. Or they do exist. Or they rarely exist. And microphone as well is going to be a mono microphone. Which, oh well, it actually do exist on the cheap smartphones back then. Because there's no other microphone on the top. The only thing that you would get on the top is only a headphone jack, or basically nothing at all. And let's take a look at the other stuff on the phone right here before I get to boot him up. So first of all, on the other side here, you got a power button as well as the volume button. As for the highlight of the other stuff that I'm going to do is going to be taking off the back cover of this thing. But since the back cover on this thing is removable, so right now I'm going to remove the back cover to see what's inside. Oh well, that was very easy. And as you can see here, inside the back cover, we got a place for your SIM1 as well as a micro SD card, which you do have a SanDisk 8GB installed in there, as well as the place for your SIM2, which is going to be a nano SIM, I'm presuming. And here's a battery right here. It's a 2000 mAh battery. And here's the primary name for this phone. C_Prime E3 #124. Oh well, that's basically it. And right now I'm going to put the back cover onto the phone where it's actually supposed to be. And right now, without any further with blue eyeless, let's boot him up, I guess. Eventually, at any second now. Whoa. That's the softest startup sound that I ever heard. And as you can see here, it's finishing booting up. And as you can see here for the lock screen on this thing, it's kinda suspicious to me though. But sure, why not? And as you can see here, here's what it looks like for the interface of this Android. So as you can see here, here's what it looks like for the user's interface on the phone, which somehow it kinda reminds me a lot of that tablet that I have reviewed not a long time ago. And right now, we're on the hesitation once again. Let's take an internet test on this thing. So that's why I'm going to test YouTube. Oh well. It says a new version of YouTube is available. Install it now from Google Play. Sure, why not? Complete action using Play Store. Alright. And you probably guessed it right. It says this app isn't compatible with your device anymore. Contact the developers for more info. Oh well. Let me just say that a normal YouTube app doesn't even run on this very old, outdated Android. But somehow, I'm going to look for this one, which is a YouTube Go. A very similar to the normal YouTube app. It's basically a cut down version of a normal YouTube app. So as you can see here, here's what it looks like for promoting stuff on it. I'm just going to download YouTube Go just in case, and also I'm going to accept. And right now YouTube Go is downloading and it's verified by Pay Protect. Wait for it to complete install. Eventually it is complete install. So right now I'm going to open YouTube Go. And here it says, welcome to YouTube Go. Discover great new videos to watch, download and share with friends. Next, sure why not. Select your language. I'm going to set to English. And now you're ready to go. You are all set. Now start enjoying new videos from all over the world. Next. Alright, as you can see here, here's what it looks like for an interface of a YouTube Go on a very small smartphone like this one. And right now, I'm going to search for this one. Wait for it. And the only thing that came up is only a goldfish. That is actually kinda end up with. And right now, I'm going to search for my actual name, which is this one. Alright, search. Alright, as you can see here, it's just finishing. Oh well, I just noticed something. And browsing a description on this. So as you can see here, here's what it looks like for browsing a description on this channel, which is basically a cut down. And I just leave a Discord contact on there, which feel free to add me on Discord. And let's take a look at the other videos on this channel. Including that, I'm going to take a look at the latest video that I done here. So as you can see here for the latest video, we got a data saver and standard quality. And you can select to high. But somehow, this one, it doesn't let me use the high quality. But except, you can select only data saver and standard quality. And right now, I'm just going to hit play. Wait for it. And the video right now is playing.
Yes! Hi there, and welcome to another Room Stop episode. And also, I got this big boy here to get unboxed. So...
Oh well, for an experience on YouTube Go on this phone, It's easy to bad, but even though for 1GB of RAM, it actually can hold a YouTube Go just fine. And browsing something like a description, which is actually just fine. And there's a link to my channel right there. And there is some other content, which somehow I don't even know why. But at least it can do double tap to rewind back and forth, just like what the normal YouTube app is supposed to be. For the second thing that I'm going to test, it is going to be a Google. Well, and right now Google is open up. As you can see here, here's what it looks like for Google. And I'm going to search for Samsung Galaxy Core Prime. As you can see here, here's what I came up with. And there's people asking, it actually does support 4G, so, and that's basically an answer for that. And right now I'm going to browse the internet on this thing, completely actually using internet. Wait for it. As you can see here, here's what it looks like browsing the internet on this phone. Blah blah blah. It came in 3 colors, black, white, and gray. Alright, it feels like I'm going to hurry. So right now, I'm going to take a look at the camera on this thing. So first of all, for the camera we got here, it's basically an user interface that it actually kind of reminds me of my good old Samsung Galaxy A7 2015 that I used to record YouTube videos back then. But it's on a smaller screen. And let's take a look at the settings we got here. We got the settings for your picture size. You can set it up to 5, or you can set it down all the way to 2 megapixels. Or if you want to set the video size, is up to 1280 by 720, and the lowest that you can get is only in 320 by 240 in 4:3 aspect ratio. And recording mode, you can set it to normal or limit for MMS, which is going to be QCIF. And tap-to-tap pics, that means when you ever going to take a photo, but when you take on the screen, it's going to take a picture for you. And autofocus mode is going to be autofocus and macro. And that's basically it for the settings. And for the volume key that you can set it to zoom, take pictures, or record a video. But in this case, I'm going to set it to zoom. As for the front camera, it's going to be a 2 megapixel front, I guess. And as for the picture size, then you can set all the way down to 0.3 megapixels. As for the video, you can set it's all the way down to 320 by 240. But unfortunately for this front camera, it can't even into HD at all. But basically, it's going to be on a 640 by 480. And what about the other modes right here? We got an auto, video, face, panorama, best photo, continuous chart, night, and sports. And as well as the flash, can set it to off, on, or set it to auto. And right now, that's pretty much all about it for the camera interface on this thing. And right now, no need for the hesitation once again. Let's take a look at the photos and videos that I'm taking with this Samsung Galaxy Core Prime. And here's the video from a Samsung Galaxy Core Prime, which right now I'm using it to record a video in 720p. And also, I used the exact same setup that I've used on my Samsung Galaxy A7 2016 here, which it is basically consists of my 52mm wide lens, so actually known as a DSLR wide lens, a phone mount, and my good champion boy right there, my 7 rounds Min Bo Mini. And as for the video test, I'm not going to test the video on the front camera. It can't even in HD, but the back camera does in HD. And right now, I don't have anything been plugged in yet onto my phone right now, because right now I'm using a Blue-in microphone to record all of this, which is basically a mono microphone. And now I'm going to plug my 7 rounds Min Bo Mini onto the phone. Let's take a listen to what the audio for an external microphone would sound like from a Samsung Galaxy Core Prime. It is actually any better than the Blue microphone or not? So Let's find out, guys. And right now, I'm recording an audio for my 7-round Simple Mini right now, which the only thing that I could tell a difference about this microphone and the Blue microphone is only when I speak up close to the 7 rounds, it is going to be like, oh well, it's actually very close, which is only a nice touch for a Samsung smartphone these days, which they can actually into an external microphone, but while the others doesn't. And that's pretty much it for a video test on a Samsung Galaxy Core Prime. And right now, I'm going to convert back to a Samsung Galaxy SM-2016 where it's actually supposed to use to record a video. And right now, we don't any spoilers ahead, or spoilers apart, or whatever hesitation apart ahead. Let's get back onto this camera where it's actually supposed to record. So that was a complete video test for a Samsung Galaxy Core Prime. But for my conclusions for this camera, I'm just going to say that it actually isn't too bad though. But the only thing that I really like when I'm recording a video using this some kind of a very old smartphone like this one from 2014, which when you record a video, actually going to show you of how the memory is actually taken up. So that is actually a very nice touch on there. So you can actually probably going to tell that if it's actually there any space left for the SD card. So that is actually a very good sign. And right now, that's pretty much all about it for the camera on the Samsung Galaxy Core Prime. So first of all, I'm going to use a voice recorder. So let's take a look at the settings we got here. So first of all, for the general settings, we got a save to, which you can set to SD card or device, which it has a native 8GB in here. And the recording quality, you can set it to high, normal, or low, which it is actually going to be a normal. But right now, I'm just going to set the recording to high and limit for MMS, which you can set off or on if you want. So, but right now, I'm just going to put it high quality. And right now, without any further apart, let's take an audio test on this phone to see of what the audio quality is gonna sound like. Alright, so let's take a listen to the audio that I recorded recently. And here's the voice from a Samsung Core Prime. Oh well, it actually isn't too bad though for an audio when I set it to high. So let's take a look at an audio quality we got here. So as you can see here, it actually saved as M4A. Oh well. And right now, what will happen if I'm going to record in normal? So let's take a listen. And here's an audio recording in normal mode. Alright, let's take a listen. And here's an audio recording in normal mode. Well, frankly, it is even in normal mode, it is going to be like a worst audio ever. But we're actually going to prefer the first one though, because it actually sounds good. So right now, that's pretty much it for an audio recorder from this phone for furries. And right now, I'm going to get it onto an organizer to test it if it actually still works or not. But I'm going to do it as fast as possible, so don't worry if this video is getting long or whatever. I'm going to apologize for that. And that's because I tried to edit off that nonsense stuff, and oh well, I do actually try my best at video editing. And let's take a look at the phone. So as you can see here, here's what it looks like for the phone. Just 555 right there. Or you can call someone like this, or this one. Or you can say star or square if you want. And you can video call on somebody else. What about contacts? Oh well, nothing to see here. Messages. There's no messages. Gallery, which is basically a gallery. Video. Oh well, that's a bunch of car dash cam videos. And clock. And here's the world clock. I live in Bangkok, Thailand. Alarm, there's no alarms. Stopwatch is basically a stopwatch, and timer, it is basically a timer. which you can set up to 99 hours, 99 minutes, and 99 seconds. And S planner, which Samsung calls it a calculator. And as you can see here, I'm on a very long holiday, but not that long. And here's an email, which is basically just configure an email for all of that. And here's the settings, which is basically a settings. Calculator, it looks like a calculator. And right now, I'm going to calculate something else in here. Well, 119 multiplied by 8. 952. What about 952 divided by 89? That's an unreadable number. But what will happen if I'm going to flip a calculator like this? Oh well, we got an equation. It's basically a calculator with a advanced equation stuff on it. What about a memo? There's no memos. And I'm going to create one. So right now, I'm going to type something in this small keyboard on a small screen. And right now, I'm just going to press cancel, discard, and it doesn't even create a new one. And there's no memos on here once again, just like what it's actually supposed to do. And what about my files, which is basically my files. Voice recorder, which I've used it recently. Radio. Oh well. Fortunately, I have this one right here as antenna, which right now I'm going to plug it in onto the phone right now to become a radio. And right now it is scanning for some stations. Cancel. Alright. So there's no sound coming out. So right now I'm going to play via speaker. Oh well, it's just some politics going on here. I'm not going to listen to that. Alright. So the audio is kind of works. And let's take a look at a Gmail, which is basically at any moment now. So, oh well, that's basically it for an organizers on this phone. And what about the other stuff on here? I have nothing left to test it right now because that's basically it. And right now it's time for my conclusions for this Samsung Galaxy Core Prime. So, first of all, a Samsung Galaxy Core Prime is actually still usable in some apps like Google, browsing internet, YouTube Go, or whatever. So, it's basically an usable phone, but somehow it can't even run a normal YouTube app. So, that's why you're probably going to end up using a YouTube Go on this phone, because a normal YouTube app doesn't support this phone anymore. So, because the Android is too outdated, because it's running on Android 4.4x4 KitKat, and I pre-assume that what will happen if I'm going to upgrade it to 5.1.1, which is going to be kinda laggy. But what about the camera on this thing? Oh well, the camera, I'm just going to say that it's actually not too bad at all for the back camera. But what about the front camera? Oh well, it is. I have nothing to say about the front camera anymore, but I'm just going to say that it is horrendous because it doesn't even into HD at all. So that's why I'm not going to do a video test on the front camera, because it actually records in 4:3. And that's basically it. And anything else on this phone? Oh well. Let me just say that this phone is actually still usable somehow. But if you want to recycle this phone into something else, like my dad did, so he basically just left a Daily Rose Furniture app on it, which is actually a sign that this phone, it was being used as a car dash cam. And alright, that's pretty much it for Samsung Galaxy Core Prime from 2014, which it feels like I have nothing left to review it right now. So, and that's basically it. And with that, so whatever. Thank you guys for watching this video. And also don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate that. And also, if you want to see me reviewing something like this, please press that red subscribe button and turn it to light gray or whatever it is. It's dependent on your device. So it's going to depending on your device you use to. Like if you're using a tablet, you're actually going to see that very clearly, or on your phone, or on your laptop, or your PC, or on your PlayStation, or whatever. You just hit that red subscribe button and turn it to light gray, and that's it. And I will see you guys later in the next video, where I'm going to make some karate content stuff. Oh well, basically a good content. Bye! Screw you, antenna! Yeet!